to make the session more energetic.
Thank you so much for inviting me to conduct this webinar. And before I start the session, I will be muting everyone so that we don't have any background noises and distraction while we are conducting the program. So thank you everyone. And now let's begin today's session on cancer prevention and healthy lifestyle. So before I start the program, I would like to give you a small glimpse on Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer. So Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer was started by Ms. Ruby Ahluwalia in the year 2012. Ms. Ruby Ahluwalia is a senior bureaucrat and author, founder of Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer, and a strong finance professional with an MBA in finance from Hyderabad, with a rich experience in project finance and public-private partnerships. She joined the civil service in 1986 and is currently serving as the principal financial advisor to Central Railways. She has reached out to thousands of souls in selfless acts of charity and care to cancer patients. Her various interests and achievements have earned her the Changemakers Award from Grant Thornton Sabera and the Exceptional Contribution in Governance Award meant for bureaucrats for their outstanding work for society. Of the many change-making initiatives, she has introduced her commitment towards bringing about a social change for the betterment of healthcare in the developing Indian society. And the mission of Ruby Ma'am's life is that every cancer patient is able to win the battle against cancer and is provided with skills to use this cancer experience as an opportunity to live an enriched and productive life. Currently, Sanjeevani is working in more than 17 government hospitals. We have impacted the lives of more than 2.5 lakhs underprivileged cancer patients. We are a pioneer in comprehensive cancer care, and we have been making difference through innovative long-term solutions. I would also like to introduce some of the programs of Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer. So Sanjeevani has built the first cancer care platform covering the entire patient cycle from prevention to detection to cure to rehabilitation to provide holistic care and prepare for a sustainable life. The programs are Cancer Yogi, which is a hand-holding and a counseling program, and currently we are doing this program in 17 government hospitals like Mumbai, Wardha, Jaipur, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Surat, Guwahati, Goa, Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Rishikesh, Bikaner, and Pondicherry. And we have a vision and a dream that in many coming years we would love to be present in all the states of our country. Then in this program, we provide a hand-holding and a counseling to the privileged, to the cancer patients. We try to help them to come out from this traumatic disease and try to be there as evening angel during the treatment of the patients and also after the treatment. Then the second program is beautifully crafted, which is called as Saturi, which is a 12 days wellness course. And in this course, patients or the caregivers join this program, which is run by a team of experts and professionals in nutrition, dietitian, yogas, meditation, which helps the patients to recover from this deadly disease and to make sure that they are following a healthy lifestyle by working on their immunity system. Then the third program is called Kansarthi, which is a skill development program, which is a 4-month certification program. And this program provides skill opportunities or employment opportunities to thousands and various people or the caregivers or the cancer survivors itself. So most of the time what happens that these cancer survivors lost their job during the treatment, and that is the reason why we started this course of 4-month certification course in oncological caregiving, where they will be trained, the cancer survivors are trained to become trained to become certified caregivers, and they can work in hospitals, in social work departments, or any other organizations. So this is what we have been trying to do by creating employment opportunities for these patients, and also trying to make an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then we have a program which is called as Can Chetna, which is an awareness program, and this is a program which creates awareness about cancer. We are living in a country where there are a lot of myths associated with cancer, and what we believe is that awareness is something is as important as taking oxygen every day, right? So that is what we have been doing. Then Can Utsav is another program which is a celebration of life beyond cancer. Then Can Varta, Can Ahar is a recent program which we started, where we provide nutritional supplement boxes to the female underprivileged cancer patients, and we try to provide them the ingredients, like in that small little box which we donate to these female patients. It has all the ingredients which help to boost their immunity. Then the last program which we have is called tele-counseling. So tele-counseling is a dedicated helpline for cancer patients. Everyone knows that due to pandemic, due to lockdowns, the cancer patients are the most vulnerable ones, right? And there were so many help, there were so many assistance which they required. They required assistance in appointment, in getting medicines, in getting ration, or in getting grocery. So Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer made it possible, and we tried to be with the patients always by doing tele-counseling and helping them in small little ways. Now let's move ahead and let's talk about today's program, on which we are covering the three aspects of cancer. So today we will be talking about how to reduce the probability of getting cancer. It simply means that how you can make yourself so protected, or maybe you can adopt a healthy lifestyle, or maybe you don't become the victim of cancer or any other disease by adopting a healthy lifestyle. So we will be talking about that. Then we will be talking about early detection. We will be also talking about few signs and symptoms of cancer. So it usually happens that our body keeps on giving us few signals, but we are so busy in our lives, we are busy in our daily course, that we just not listen to those little voices of our body, and we tend to ignore those little voices. And at times, by ignoring so much, our health also get hampered. So we will talk about those early signs and symptoms of cancer. And last but not the least, we will be talking about how we can make a substantial difference in a person's life diagnosed with cancer. That is something which is very important, because at times we do not know how to interact with the cancer patient, what kind of do's and don'ts we should remember while talking to a cancer patient, and also making sure that their experience doesn't become more traumatic by asking questions which should not be asked. Now let's move ahead and let's talk about cancer. So if I talk about cancer in a bookish terminology, cancer is the growth of abnormal cells in our body. And our body is made up of millions and trillions of cells. But do we know that we are also born with the cancer cells? The cancer cells are present in my body, they are present in your body, and it is present in everyone's body. But then why it happens that only few people get diagnosed with cancer, few doesn't? Though there are many reasons about it, but we will be talking about three most contributing factors of getting these abnormal cells in our body aggravated, right? Now, when I say that COVID is a pandemic, but cancer is epidemic, right? So we need to understand that cancer is not something for which the news is showing in the television and people are talking about it very often. But yes, cancer is something in which lakhs of people are dying every year. We need to understand that cancer is the second leading cause of deaths globally, and cancer cells are toxic in nature. That is something which we need to understand, that anything which is increasing the toxicity inside our body is aggravating the growth of the cancer cells. Cancer is not like COVID that it will come and go, you will get fever or cold, but cancer takes times to grow in your body, right? So you need to make sure that instead of adopting a very unhealthy lifestyle, we need to concentrate more on a healthy lifestyle, right? Now, cancer is not something which you get from outside. Cancer is not something like if you hug a cancer patient or you eat in a same plate, you will get cancer. No, cancer is something which is developed inside your body because you're not taking care of the internal environment of your body. Now, maybe there's an increase of toxicity because of the kind of food you eat, maybe the kind of drinking habits we have, or maybe the kind of thought process we have. Then cancer also activates in a body which has a lower immunity. I will be showing you a very beautiful video which will help you to understand that how the T cells, which are also called as the immunity cells, fights with the cancer cells every day. And last, unhealthy lifestyle. Cancer is a lifestyle disease. Cancer depends on the kind of a life you have been leading or living. How you breathe, how you eat, how you think, all determines the growth of the cancer cells in our body. Now with this, I would like to show you all a small video. So just give me a second, I'll play it for all of you, and then we'll move to the further slide. I will also try to make this presentation, this session very, very understandable so that you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to say in a layman language.
The greens.
Just give me a second. I will. Yeah, here you go.
The green cell you see here is a killer T cell of the immune system which is attacking the cancerous red and blue cell. You can tell when the killer cell has recognized the cancer cell because the two dots move around and contact the target. The killer cell then spreads out over the cancerous cell. Passing the video through a filter makes the killer cell look yellow and allows us to really see how it focuses on the cancer cell. These killer T cells are constantly hunting down dangerous cells throughout the body and destroying them.
So did you see how the killer cells, which are also called as the T cells or the immunity cells, were hunting down the cancer cells to kill them? So that simply explains that if we want to work on a healthy lifestyle, the only thing which we need to work is on our immunity system. So let's assume that immunity is a tricycle, and these three circles like food and nutrition, breathing and thought process are the tires of this tricycle. Now, the immunity not just depends on the food which you are eating, but it also depends on the breathing, and also it depends on the thinking. Now, how it depends, I will be explaining you in this slide. Now, immunity, which is one of the most important factors to adopt a healthy lifestyle, depends on food. So food and nutrition is something like what you're eating. So definitely, I'm sure a lot of people must have told you to eat green vegetables, to have more salads, to have a healthy life, to have a healthy breakfast. Definitely, you need to have all that in your diet. But Just not this, but also there are other factors or reasons which determines your food or nutrition. Number one, at what time you're having the food. Number two, with what combination you are having the food. Number three, with what quantity you are having the food. And last but not the least, with what thought process you are having the food. Now that is the most ignorant factor, because most of the times usually we are so busy that whenever we are having the food, maybe we are busy on the cell phones, we are watching television, or maybe we are discussing something which is very, very negative, and we are having the food in a negative environment. Most of the dining table conversations happens in Indian family when we are eating food, right? And most of the times we are discussing about future plans, about pandemic, about people dying. And with those emotions, with those surroundings of a negative environment, we are eating that food. Now the food, maybe the food which you are eating is very, very nutritious, is very healthy, but the kind of emotion you are having while eating that food is very negative. So the food which goes inside doesn't digest properly and doesn't give you enough energy. Maybe it is lying somewhere and it is not getting digested properly. Now let me also tell you that the food which you eat doesn't give you energy, right? But the food which you digest gives you proper energy. So we need to make sure that whenever we are having the food in front of us, we are eating with a grateful heart. Now let me take you all to your school days, right? So during school, what used to happen when we were very young, we were kids, the lunch bell used to be there and everyone used to start taking out their lunch boxes. But before taking out the lunch boxes, we used to do a small prayer, a prayer of thankfulness. Now we need to understand the importance of that small virtue of thankfulness. We need to be grateful to the farmers of the country. We need to be grateful to the people who have cooked that food for us. How many times we have said thank you to our maids, to our moms for preparing a meal for us? I think I haven't ever. Because we take all these things for granted when we know that people are dying out of hunger, out of poverty. So we need to understand the importance of gratefulness, to understand the importance of gratitude. And when we eat with a grateful heart, the food which goes inside your body, it acts as a magic. It gives you enough energy and nutrition to digest the food, right? So that is something which you need to understand if you want to work on your immunity system. Just eating healthy food, but eating with a negative mindset will not make any good to us. Now let's move to another tier of this tricycle, which is breathing. Now, breathing is a universal process, and every individual, you, me, the entire world is dependent on breathing and is living because of oxygen. We have seen cases, so we were also doing this COVID drive during these pandemic times, and the only word which I kept on hearing was oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. It is really sad. The oxygen which is easily available in the environment, we are not able to breathe also properly. Usually we have time to be on Netflix, to be on YouTube, to have a lot of YouTube followers and Instagram, but we don't have just 10 to 15 minutes to breathe properly, to sit straight and to do mindful breathing, right? Breathing on which everyone is dependent on, you, me, the entire universe. We don't have time to do mindful breathing. So it's very, very important that every day you sit straight, you take out time for mindful breathing, because usually when we breathe, we only breathe till our chest. The oxygen, which is the biggest alkalizer, doesn't even go properly to our brain, to our lung, or to the other body parts. So we need to understand the importance of breathing by doing deeper, by taking deeper and longer breaths. And slowly and gradually you will see that your breathing has improved from shorter breaths to longer and deeper breaths. So this is another important factor which you need to Remember, while you're working on your immunity, just eating the food right but not breathing right will not be beneficial for us. Now, moving to the third tier of this tricycle is thought process. Now, what is thought process? What is mental health? We just spend time in improving our looks, on our health, but we never take our time to talk about mental health, which is one of the most important pillar, right, when we talk about immunity system. Now, every day when we wake up, there are more than 80,000 thoughts which comes in a day. 80,000 thoughts. Can you imagine? And 80% these thoughts are negative. We are less happy, we are less satisfied, we are complaining, we don't have money, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to go there, we are jealous, and when things don't happen according to our way, we expect too much, then we get hurt. And when our mind in all these emotions, these negative emotions, our body is also producing toxic hormones, which is making our body toxic, on which the cancer cells lives upon. So imagine the amount of toxicity, the amount of acidity we are giving to these cancer cells every day. And the cancer cells inside our body is saying, hooray, wow, today it's a party time because this person is full of toxicity, right? So we need to work on our thought process. Now, if I tell you that you just stay happy, just smile, just forget, that is not a viable solution. That is something which is not logical. And you will also say that, oh, some Florina came and she just gave a big lecture, but she did not tell how to do it. So now I'm telling you how to do it. And make sure that you practice these techniques in your life, and you will see these changes in your life yourself, because I have practiced it my life too. Now, the emotions which really makes our body toxic are anger. Anger is one of the biggest emotion which makes your life toxic, your relations toxic, it shortens your breath, right? So you need to work on this emotion, this negative emotion, which is anger. So let's say whenever you are in a state of anger, you need to start doing reverse counting from 100 to 1. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96. And the moment you start doing it, your mind, which was in the anger state, will come back to the counting state, will get diverted to the counting part, and your anger will be gone in a jiffy. So this is something which you can work on to maybe to just erase anger from your life. This is a beautiful technique. It helps you to reduce and to calm your anger. Now, the second technique which I'm giving you is to work on a negative emotion which is called as a feeling of loneliness or depression. Most of the times what happens that everyone in life is so busy, we don't have time to talk to each other, or maybe because of the lockdown and because of the pandemic, people are not able to meet each other. We have to keep a physical distance, right? We're not able to hug people and maybe to share a lot of things. And at times there are situations when you are not able to express your emotions to even to your closest friend, or maybe to your parents or to your friend or your family, right? So during that time, what happens that the emotions which are there inside your body, they keep getting accumulated, and it makes your body very, very toxic. So this is a technique which is called as journal writing technique. This technique is a beautiful way of writing down all your emotions, all the flow of thoughts on a piece of paper, and later on you can burn that paper, you can keep that paper with you, or maybe just tear it up. Once you do this writing on a piece of paper, you have let down all your emotions out, you will feel much, much relaxed and in a better position. And this is a beautiful technique which will help you to calm your brain, your mind, and also your body. So this is something which you can do to control the emotions like depression or maybe anxiety or the feeling of loneliness. So as I told you that if we want to adopt a healthy lifestyle, if we want to adopt a beautiful lifestyle, right, we need to work on our immunity, and immunity is a tricycle. And in this tricycle, we need to make sure that we are eating right food, we are breathing right, and we are thinking right. And then only your life will be converted into a beautiful and a healthy lifestyle. Now, with this, I would like to show you a small video which Ruby ma'am has created for all of you. And I also want to tell you that Ruby ma'am got diagnosed with cancer in 2009, and she really worked on her immunity. She really worked on all these three aspects which I am sharing it with you right now. So let's hear her story from her.
These days there is a lot of emphasis as to what kind of food we are eating, whether it is healthy, it is not healthy, it is organic, it is not organic, what time are we eating it, then we are talking of superfoods these days. Here I want to put a little more emphasis on this, that we get our energy not merely by the food that we eat, but the food that we digest. So the energy comes, or the nutrients are released, and they are absorbed in the body only when the food has been digested properly. If it was only about eating healthy food, then we could have stuffed a lot of healthy food in a sick person and expect a state of health from him. But that is not what happens. Because of sickness, his digestive system is not working properly, and stuffing himself with any kind of food, even if it is very healthy, can lead to contrary results, in fact. Now, if what is the most important thing is how our food is getting digested, then we need to understand as to what are those factors I need to take care of, which will keep my body environment in a state that my digestive system works well, and the food that I eat gets properly digested, processed, absorbed in my system. So one of the foremost things is that I need to keep my gut clean. To keep my gut clean, I need to give it proper nice rest for 14 to 15 hours. So apart from the sleeping hours which are there, which could be anywhere between 7 to 8 hours, after waking up for 3 to 4 hours, I need to have light food. Light food means it could be nutritious drinks, they could be green juices, they could be herbal teas, they could be fruits. If we keep ourselves hydrated properly in this time of the day and give these kind of foods to our body, it will help in cleaning our gut properly. During the day, we should have food, of course, which is healthy, which is light, which is not too greasy, because that is the food which gets digested. We will do a video later in which I will be talking in detail about what kind of food to have and at what time to have. So right now, let us keep ourselves restricted to keeping our gut clean by giving it proper rest and having very, very light food in the morning when we get up for at least 4 to 5 hours. The other thing which is very important is that when we are eating, what kind of mental state we are in. Because when we eat in a state of anxiety, stress, anger, tension, then what happens is that all these negative emotions, they basically are generated out of that basic emotion of fear. And when body recognizes fear, it declares a state of emergency inside, and it starts preparing itself to deal with this emergency. When the whole system is preparing itself to deal with the emergency, then the digestive system is not in a state to digest the food well, because what is getting released in the body is the cortisol and the adrenaline. Now at this time, the digestive juices are not getting released, which will help digest the food. Therefore, whatever food we may eat with this kind of mental state will get rotten, and it will turn into acid instead of the nutrients being released and absorbed in the body. So when we sit down to eat, if we sit down in a happy and a peaceful state, then the digestive juices are adequately released, the food is properly churned, the food is properly chewed, and the food is then properly digested and absorbed in the system. This is very important. The third thing is that when we feel hungry, then there is a belly fire which is there, which helps the secretion of the important juices which will help us digest the food. So this fire needs to be kept on. What happens at times is that when we have water during our meal times, or if we have very cold water just before the food time, or if we have water just after finishing our food, then this fire goes off, which makes it difficult for our food to get digested. So we need to take care that when we sit down to eat, we do not have any water during our meal times and for at least half an hour to 45 minutes after the meal time. So if we take care of these three things, one is keeping the gut clean so that our digestive system works well. Number two, eating food in the morning which is extremely light and basically fruits and juices. Number three, during the day we eat food which is easily digestible, which we will be covering in the later videos. And the fourth, we eat in a state of peace and happiness. This is what will help our food to get digested well and get properly absorbed in our system and release a state of optimal health.
So that was a beautiful video by Ms. Ruby Ahluwalia, our founder of Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer. And now let's move ahead and let's talk about the early signs and symptoms of cancer, right? So as I told you in the beginning that it is very important to understand the language of your body. And WHO also says that 30% of the cancer cases can be prevented by early diagnosis or its treatment. I am not telling you that if you have all these kind of symptoms or signs, then definitely it is cancer. I am just trying to make you understand that prevention is better than cure. And maybe it's a small sore, or maybe it's a small lump. But you never know, if you just keep on ignoring, that small lump can become a big tumor, or maybe it can get converted into a bigger disease. So let's talk about these signs and symptoms. So first, it is change in bowel or bladder habit. So whenever you are passing your urine, if you find any kind of a blood clot, or there is a very foul smell coming out from your urine, or there's maybe some burning sensation, or maybe the stool which you are trying to pass, you having difficulty in passing the stool, there's a blood clot, or some signs of blood bleeding, or maybe there's any kind of a rectal bleeding. So that is a symptom or sign of rectal cancer, and you need to report to the doctor immediately without delay. A sore that does not heal, most of the times what happens that we get these small little sores. Sometimes we, sometimes we get these sores on in our maybe in our tongue, or maybe on lips, or maybe our cheeks. And if you find any of these sores, if there's some kind of a blood which is oozing out, maybe there's some kind of white or yellow color discharge coming out, or maybe there's some type of a pain in these sores, you need to be very, very careful and cautious, because it could be a sign or symptom of skin cancer. Unusual bleeding or discharge, so apart from menstruational bleeding, if there's any kind of a blood which is coming out from your private part, or maybe the maybe your nose, your ears, or maybe your eyes, or let's say that maybe the sputum, or let's say we have eaten something and we puked, and in that vomit there was blood clots, right? Or maybe the blood or discharge or some kind of a pain is there in the nipple of your breast, right? That is also one of the symptom or sign of cancer. Now, thickening or lump in the breast or elsewhere, most of the cancer cases starts with a lump. Usually these lumps are not very painful in the beginning, but as the years pass and the months pass, maybe these lumps become painful, or they can also become cancerous lumps. So it is very, very important for us to understand that these lumps which are there in our body, what kind of lumps these are. Now, there could be two types. One is a malignant tumor, which is a cancerous tumor, which can be taken out by surgery, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, targeted therapy, then many other therapies can be used to take out the malignant tumor from your body. Then there's another tumor which is called as benign tumor, which is a non-cancerous tumor, but it should be removed out from your body by a surgery or by some kind of a medication, because maybe that tumor which is not a cancerous tumor may become a cancerous tumor in later years of your life. And let me also tell you that breast cancer is something which can also happen to males, but the percentage of breast cancer in males is very, very less. So we need to understand that breast cancer is one of the topmost cancer which is found in India, and especially in females, right? And lot of the deaths also happen because of the breast cancer. Now, indigestion or difficulty in swallowing, if there's any kind of indigestion issues you have been facing, maybe maybe you are having a lot of motions, constipation, whenever you eat something from outside, you get some gastric issues, right? Your stomach is very weak. Then that is a sign of a gastric cancer. And difficulty in swallowing, if you're not able to eat your food or swallow your food, maybe you feel some kind of a lump in your food pipe, then that is a sign or symptom of esophagus or food pipe cancer. Now, obvious change in a wart or mole. So our body has these small little muscular balls which are called as wart, and these moles which are small little black or red color marks, right? So if there is a yellow or greenish color discharge coming out from this warts, or there's a blood, or maybe blood is oozing out, or maybe there's a lot of pain when you're touching it, right? So that could be a symptom of leukemia or blood cancer. Or maybe if there's 1 to 3 moles are there in your body, but they are spreading in your body like anything. So that is also one of the symptoms of blood cancer or leukemia. Now, nagging cough or hoarseness, if you have a very persistent symptom of this nagging cough from months and months, and there's hoarseness in your voice, then that could be a symptom or sign of lung cancer. Once again, I'm telling everyone that this is not something which we are saying that if these are the symptoms, then definitely it is cancer. We are just trying to tell you that it's your life and that is your only life. So try to make this life your priority, because if health is lost, everything is lost. So let's concentrate more on a healthy lifestyle. Let's understand the language of your body. If there's something not right in your body, you need not to ignore it. You just have to go and get it checked by a doctor, right? Now let's move ahead and let's talk about risk factors of cancer. I see there are a lot of messages in the chat window, and I'm not sure. Okay, so thank you so much for your feedback. Yeah, so we'll continue further. All right, so let's talk about the risk factors for cancer. Now, what are the risk factors for cancer? We know tobacco is one of the risk factors for cancer. Cigarettes, smokeless tobacco, right? Now, there are two types of tobacco products. One is combustible tobacco product, which you burn and use like cigarettes, like cigars, like shisham, like hookah. And the another one is non-combustible products, which are used without burning, right? Such as tobacco, like a chewable tobacco, then snuff, then snus, all these things, snus, all these products which you can eat maybe, or you can just take a snuff, you can snooze it, right? Now, do you know that there are around 7,000 chemicals which are present in cigarettes? Nicotine, which is one of the chemical which gives you that kick, which gives you that addiction in your brain, that is there. And do you know that there are around 69 to 70 types of cancers which can only happen because of tobacco use? It is not just lung cancer, it can be kidney, pancreas, it can be so many, right? And there are so many bad chemicals which are found in tobacco, which are used in toilet cleaners, in batteries, but still we are not able to control our craving. We are always craving for these things. So let me give you a small technique. If you have a craving to use these products, then maybe you can just cut ginger into small pieces, put it in a jar, first dry it, and then put it in a jar after adding little black pepper and salt. And then whenever you have these cravings, try to just put that piece of ginger in your mouth. Try to distract yourself. Because, because of nicotine, the addiction is so much, we become so addicted that it is very difficult to quit these habits. But then that doesn't mean that you don't have to invest on your health. You need to prepare a quitting plan for your life. If you're not able to take help with the help of your friends or families, go and take professional help. There are so many helpline numbers. There's a tobacco cessation team which can help you also. Now, stress. Stress is just a small little word, but do you know how much stress it has in this word? Now, stress is also of two types. There's eustress and there's de-stress. Eustress is a happy stress, a stress of marriage or party or a picnic or a travel, something like that. But de-stress is a very, very harmful stress which releases the toxins out in our body, and it makes our body very, very toxic, right? And when we are in stress, there's a hormone which is called as cortisol hormone, which really makes your body toxic. So we need to think about stress. If we are stressed because of anger, we need to start doing reverse counting. If we are stressed because of depression, anxiety, loneliness, we should start doing journal writing. We should start doing meditation. We should start doing exercising, physical fitness. Then obesity and overweight. Now WHO says that every individual has a BMI, that is a body mass index. For example, if I'm 29 years old, my height is just 5 feet, and it is 5 feet, and my weight is 90 kgs. But it's not 90 kgs, right? So you need to work on your weight. You need to work on your diet. You need to work on the food which you should eat at home rather than eating junk food. And you need to remember that you have to eat for your stomach and not for your taste. Because the more you digest your food properly, the more you make your body healthy. Inadequate physical activity, if you are not a Zumba person, if you're not a gym person, if you're not doing any exercise, my dear participants, please invest at least 30 minutes in your physical activity. Maybe it could be dancing, it could be playing badminton, it could be playing cricket, any sport, swimming, maybe brisk walking. Now, lack of sleep, that is something which is so important for all of us. Now, when you sleep, it releases cortisol hormone, that is a stress hormone from your body. So imagine the importance of sleep in your wellness. And last is the HPV infection, that is a human papilloma virus which is spread by sexually transmitted diseases. So if someone is involved in too much multiple sexual partners, that is a kind of a virus which can infect our body, and it becomes another risk factors for cancer. Now with this, I would like to show you a small video on the benefits of sleeping, which is again created for all of you by our founder, Ms. Ruby Ahluwalia. So let me just play it for all of you, and it will really help you to understand the importance.
Good morning. There are a lot of people these days who talk about that they were doing extremely well, they were in perfect state of health, and suddenly they were diagnosed with diabetes, with hypertension, cholesterol, or even cancer. Regarding this, we need to understand that none of these diseases that I just mentioned, or many other non-communicable diseases, they do not dawn on us suddenly. There is a huge time gap when our body or our mind has been in a state of dis-ease, in a state of unease, and finally that dis-ease manifests itself into illness. Now, if this is so, we need to know what are those warning signals we can be vigilant about, and we can take control of them if we see them coming, so that this disease which we go through does not manifest itself into these huge diseases that we were talking about. One of the very, very important things or one of the very important factors in our wellness is our sleep. So a lot of people are talking about that you should sleep well if you need to remain in a state of wellness. Now, it's not so easy that I tell you that you sleep well and you will start sleeping well from tomorrow. We need to look at our sleep patterns. So if we have not been sleeping well, we need to understand as to where is it going wrong and how do I ensure a good sleep. So when we get up in the morning, do I feel groggy? Do I feel tired? Do I need that cup of tea or coffee necessarily, that cup of caffeine necessarily to kickstart my day? Or do I get up with that enthu and happiness of a child? If I have been getting up in a state of grogginess as a pattern, I need to understand as to why it is happening. Sleep being such an important factor in my wellness, because that is the time when the body recoups, re-energizes. There are so many hormones which get released when we are sleeping. For example, the pituitary gland releases growth hormones, which are so important for our well-being. The cortisol, which is our stress hormone, the quantity of that reduces. The immunity system, it releases cytokines which fight inflammation. So sleep is a very important time of our life. So if we are not sleeping well, there could be three broad factors. One, we are not eating right. The second is that when we are approaching bedtime, we are approaching it with some issue opened in our life, some stress, some tension. The third is we have messed up our body clock for some reason. Like when we travel or when we travel abroad, we have a jet lag. So basically the body clock gets messed up. So about eating right, we must finish our dinner by 8 p.m. There has to be a gap of 3 hours between our dinner time and the bedtime. The other thing is we should be eating light. The food should be less on carbs and fats. Good dinner of rice and steamed vegetables or stir-fried vegetables, they work very well with a bowl of soup, just to give an example. The other is that we should be walking or doing some light exercise after our dinner. It could be dance, it could be just walking inside the house. The most important thing which is disturbing sleep of people these days is that we keep our laptops and our social media on in the night. So please take care that at least 1 hour before your bedtime you have switched off your social media and you are not working on your laptop. The other thing, as I was just telling about, is that stress when we go to the bed with an open issue. Now, to take care of this, if we can have a nice ritual around our bedtime. So we can dim the lights in the bedroom, we can have a warm water wash before going to the bed. And when we are washing our body with this warm water, we should see our worries getting washed, and it really works beautifully. And even then, if some issue remains open, please tell yourself that this is my sleeping time, this is an open issue and I need to sort it out and I will attend to it tomorrow. When you lie down in your bed, please read a beautiful book. You can meditate, you can chant if you are in that habit. That works extremely well. People who have not been sleeping well should not rush to the bed suddenly. It'll not work. That from today I've decided I want to sleep at 10 p.m. so let me rush to the bed. No, that will become very uncomfortable because you will just be turning and toppling in your bed. So that should not happen. This ritual will kind of prepare your body and mind to get into a state of rest. And once you start sleeping well, you will start getting up in the morning in a very fresh state with that happiness of a child. Actually, body, it learns, it stores information and it stores time schedules. So we need to make a good one and a healthy one and let that be stored in our body and mind to give us a beautiful day and a beautiful life.
So if you want a beautiful day and a beautiful life, let's invest in our sleeping, right? Try to sleep more and try to take proper sleep of 8 hours as told by Ms. Ahluwalia. Now we have come to almost the end part of our sessions where we will just be covering a few most common forms of cancer, which are like lung cancer. So lung cancer is one of the cancer where there are a lot of male deaths which happens in India, right? Then we have colorectal cancer, then prostate cancer, stomach cancer, breast cancer, and then skin cancer. Then there are other cancers also like gallbladder, uterus, cervical, and many more. So these are the most common form of cancers which are found in India. Now let's move to the last part of the session, which is about the do's and don'ts of interacting with a patient or maybe when someone you know has cancer. Now this is about my journey. I would like to just relate it with all of you with a small example. When I joined Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer, I did not know how to interact with the cancer patient, and I usually had many people with whom maybe they were diagnosed with cancer, right? But I used to just ask stupid questions, or maybe questions which will make them feel more bad or hurt about it, right? So we need to understand these facts. I'm sure maybe someone you know, or maybe someone you don't know, or maybe people who are there nearby at your house or maybe at your place must be going through a tough journey, and must be, maybe they have been getting their treatment for cancer. So it is very important for you all, for all of us, to understand the importance of interacting with the cancer patient, right? Usually what happens when a doctor tells a cancer patient that you have been diagnosed with cancer, then just with one word, cancer, their entire world goes upside down. There are so many fronts which open up. There are fears of getting bald. There are fears that their eyebrows will go. There are fears that they will become weak. Their skin will become dry. They will have nausea. And with all those physical fears, they know, and it is very natural, that there will be emotional changes, there will be emotional fears. So what we can do to make their life a bit brighter, or maybe can bring a smile on their face, we can just tell them that we care for them. We can tell them we are there for you as a friend, as a philosopher, as a guide. You have our back, right? Now try to respect their decisions. Try to respect their decisions, or maybe if they have told you something that they have been diagnosed with cancer, their treatment is going on, don't try to tell them that, oh, I know someone who also has got cancer, so you should go and refer to this doctor or to this hospital. Let's respect their decisions. Let them make the decisions which they want to take by their own. Then include them in your personal work projects. Whenever I'm doing counseling in the hospitals for these cancer patients, most of the patients tell me that, ma'am, I have been chucked out from the office, from an organization, because they feel that I cannot work anymore. So this is a kind of a mindset which we have, that, oh, this person has got cancer. Now he has become the liability for everyone. So let's just chuck him out. But we should not do that. We should try to include these people in our events, in our project. Maybe if someone is there in our office who is coming back from the treatment and from the holidays, or maybe after the vacation of doing their treatment, maybe you can just welcome them by doing a small decoration at their office table or something which will brighten up their day, right? Now, I think listening is something which everyone is losing every day, right? We don't want to listen to anyone. We just want to speak, and we need to understand that it is very important for a cancer patient to burst out, to take out all the emotions. And that is the reason while we are doing counseling in the hospitals, we only sit and listen to them. We listen to their fears, we listen to their joys, we listen to their sufferings, we listen to their cries. So let's try to be an active listener, right? Now try to offer help in small little ways. Now there is a neighbor who has been diagnosed with cancer recently. So what I do, I usually go on weekends, cook a meal for them. Maybe I take their kids for a small walk in the park. Maybe I help the kids to do homework. Just small little ways in which a lot of money is not involved, but maybe just your time is involved, right? So I think this we can easily do. Now, what are the don'ts of interacting with a cancer patient? Never offer free advice, or never try to be judgmental. It's a shame that we live in a judgmental society. It's a shame that we love to tag people, right? Oh, that girl is 32, 33. Why she's not getting married? Why she's not having kids? Oh, that guy used to drink a lot. He used to chew tobacco. That's why he got cancer. We cannot judge a book by its cover. We are no one to judge anyone, because even a child who's just 2 years old gets cancer. And cancer, anyone can get cancer, right? So let's not judge people. Let's not categorize people. Let's not show biasness to people. I have stories where the females will be calling us and telling that our husband has left us, our family is behaving in such a bad way because we have got cancer. Our utensils have been separated, our rooms have been separated. We are treated like very, very badly. So this is a very, very, very bad way to judge people, to categorize people. Never assume that a cancer person can do no job. He cannot do any job, because we have cancer survivors who has been trained on a 4-month certification course in oncologically caregiver. They have become certified caregivers and they are working in hospitals. They are earning their own bread. So we cannot assume that a cancer patient do any kind of a job. Never tell this to a cancer patient that I can imagine how you must be feeling. Trust me, we cannot imagine how a cancer patient feels when he comes out from the chemotherapy sessions, when he sees himself that he has lost all the energy, he has lost all the joy in his life. It is something which we can't imagine. So never say this to a cancer patient. Rather, you can just say, I cannot imagine how you must be feeling, but yes, we are there for you. And never go around with someone if you are sick or have fever or any other signs of infection, because during that time that patient is immunity is extremely low and there are chances that he might get infection from you. So these were few do's and don'ts which are easily doable, I think, which every one of us can easily do it, right? Now let's move to a number. So this is a number which is a number of faith, which is a number of hope. So there are 32.6 million 5-year cancer survivors. It shows that cancer is not fatal if you work towards early diagnosis and its treatment. Cancer is not fatal. Cancer is not contagious. But the only thing you need to promise to yourself today is that you will start listening to your body. You will start listening to the language of your body. You will start respecting this life. You will start understanding that this life is so precious, which God has given us. Now, I would like to end my session with a small quotation by Stuart Scott, who himself was a cancer patient. And he said, "You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live." I think you can beat cancer. I think you can beat anything in this life if you have a strong will, if you have a strong determination to beat that challenge in your life, right? And always remember, before going to bed, ask this question to yourself: whether you are blessing your life more or whether you are cursing your life more. Try to understand that there's always a greater joy in life. There is no point of getting millions of YouTube followers, Instagram likes and all that, but eventually everyone has to go alone, right? So we need to understand the importance of a healthy lifestyle. We need to understand that what gives you more joy in life. If helping someone, if spending time with a cancer patient gives you more joy, and it will give you more joy, then do that. Because money is not something which is everything, right? Sometimes you just spend your time with someone, you just give your time. It is more powerful than money or monetary things. So try to make this life beautiful. Try to breathe right, try to think right, and try to eat right. And that is the only truth to have a beautiful life and a healthy life ahead. So thank you so much for listening to me today. It was my honor and pleasure that you guys gave me this wonderful opportunity that I could talk to you. This topic is very, very close to my heart because we have been doing this from 12 years. Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer has been doing this, spreading joy, spreading smiles, spreading happiness in thousands and millions of people's lives. And I think that is the only life which is worth living for. So with this, I would request Sumki Begum, who's there with us, to take any questions if any one of you has any questions, so Sumki ma'am is there with all of us. I will be unmuting everyone and I will request Sumki.
Yeah, Florina. Yeah, I have answered to most of the questions.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so in the chat itself, so here was the question that is there is any side effects of the treatment? Yeah, there are lots of side effects when we talk about treatment because cancer is already a very chronic disease and the treatment that is given is more stronger to the disease. That is the reason we face some side effects. For example, if you're taking radiation, then you might get black patches in your body because your cells are somewhere burned. Then you might get, you might have nausea, you might feel very weak. For example, when we talk about chemotherapy, you might have loss of hair, your hairs might go away, but it is not for permanent thing. It will last for hardly 6 months to 1 year. Then you might feel vomiting, you might have fever, you might have nausea, then you might not want to eat food. Okay, so one of the side effects of radiation is you will get lots of smell from your food. No matter how good it is smelling, but initially we obviously get smell and then the patient are unable to eat the food. So these are some of the common side effects of the treatment. And the next question was about that, can we consume normal acidic food? Yes, because most of our food that we consume contains acid in it. For example, the meat we eat, the dairy products we eat, then the nuts we eat, then also some people who take alcohol also have acid in it. So normal acid obviously do not harm your body because acid is also equally needed for your body and it is controlled by your lungs, your heart as well. So yes, it doesn't lead to things like that. But when you talk about susceptibility, then if you have any genetic history of cancer, if you have any tobacco history of cancer, then you might be at a high risk factor of cancer. But that doesn't mean that if someone from your family has got cancer, you will get cancer. Not at all. Because as Florina has also mentioned very beautifully that how cancer cells are present in our every human body. Okay. So generally when it is genetic, gene is just like a small seed in our body. So for example, you're bringing a seed in your womb, you're watering the seed and it grows as a plant. Similarly, the gene, a cancer gene that you get in the cells, that is also like a small seed when it starts in your body. So if you nurture it with unhealthy lifestyle, then obviously it has high chances of turning into cancer because it kills all your cancer cells present in your body. But then if you follow a healthy lifestyle, then there are at least 80 to 90% chance that you will not get this disease. Okay. What are the causes of liver cancer? One is the fatty liver that we get from eating lots of non-veg and alcohol consumption. So try to avoid alcohol, like 2 standard drink for male per day and 1 standard drink for women per day can be taken. But more than that, for example, the entire week you didn't drink and on one particular day you're drinking the entire bottle. That means it is harming your body and you might be at a high risk factor of developing liver cancer in your body. Okay, so now how the cancer cells progressing as metastasis can be identified through symptoms. See, when we talk about symptoms, when it grows in your body, you might not be able to understand things. You might not be able to, know things that it is happening in your body. So what you have to do is you have to understand that is there any kind of abnormal changes in your body. For example, let us take, as we have already discussed about early diagnosis. So if there is some kind of bleeding, if there is any changes in your, mole or say, any kind of mole you have in your body and it is increasing day by day, because when it spreads, you will have different symptoms. So you cannot say that only this symptom lead to this cancer. It might be anything. There might be bleeding, there might be bloating all the time, you might have body pain all the time. So these are the symptoms that we generally ignore. We go to medical store, we take medicines and end of the story. We don't care about the disease, right? So that these are the symptoms that you need to identify. So, and yeah, when we talk about biopsy, the biopsy is the necessary test. No one can say it on your mouth that you have got cancer by looking at your tumor or your body changes until and unless they do not do biopsy, because it is a test that has to be done to see the cancer cells present in your body, because you never know, your tumor might be benign, your tumor might be malignant. If it is a malignant, it will have cancer cells present in it. If it is benign, then it has no cancer cells. There are higher risks that it might turn into cancer tumor as well. So without biopsy, you cannot say that you have got cancer in your body. Okay, that is very important.
So thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So we are fortunate that we had two guests today, SUMKI Begum and Ms. Florina Singh.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, I had some network glitch, so that is the reason Florina had to take. So, sir, I would just love to take a permission for conducting a quiz with the participants to make the session a bit more interesting. So there will be a quiz of 10 questions. There are simple rules that you just have to turn on your videos and then you have to answer it in your chat box. Okay, so when you answer in the chat box, if the options are yes or no, you have to answer it in yes or no. You can't write ABCD or 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to write the proper answer, so that the things get registered in your mind as well. Okay, so requesting everyone to please turn on your videos, and if you are ready, please type ready in the chat box so that we can start the quiz. And here is a feedback link given in the chat box, so please fill up the feedback link. That will help us to give you the e-certificates. And if you know any cancer patient who need our help, please feel free to contact us at our helpline number, that is 8691 000 800 8691 000 801. Okay, I could see lots of messages saying that they are ready. Okay, so Sippy, are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Yeah, so I would like to request you to please conduct the quiz. I am showing the slide for you.
Okay, ma'am. Cancer is the dash leading cause of death globally. Option 1, first. Option 2, second. Option 3, third. Option 4, fourth. I repeat the question. Cancer is the last dash leading cause of death globally. Option 1, first. Option 2, second. Option 3, third. Option 4, fourth.
Second, I believe.
First.
Please do not unmute yourself. You have to put the answers. आपको answer chat box पे डालना है. You have to put the answers in the chat box. Moving to the next question.
Cancer is the result of the uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells anywhere in the body. True or false? Cancer is the result of the uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells anywhere in the body. True or false?
Moving to the next question.
Cancer cells are dash in nature. Option 1, toxic. Option 2, alkaline. I repeat the question. Cancer cells are dash in nature. Option 1 toxic. Option 2 alkaline.
Moving to the next question.
Breast cancer is only diagnosed in women. True or false? I repeat question. Breast cancer is only diagnosed in women. True or false?
Moving to the next question.
Which of the following is not considered a risk factor for oral cancer? Option 1 tobacco use. Option 2 frequent alcohol use. Option 3 a high fiber diet. Option 4 all are risk factor. I repeat the question. Which of the following is not considered a risk factor for oral cancer? Option 1 tobacco use. Option 2 frequent alcohols. Option 3 a high fiber diet. Option 4 all are risk factors.
Moving to the next question.
Cancer of the blood cells is referred to as option 1 Kaposi sarcoma, option 2 basal cells carcinoma, option 3 mesothelioma, option 4 leukemia.
Please write the proper answer. Please do not write it as 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to write the proper option, what is written there. Moving to the next question.
Which tumor is cancerous? Option 1 malignant, option 2 benign. I repeat the question. Which tumor is cancerous? Option 1 malignant, option 2 benign.
Moving to the next question.
The most common types of treatment of cancer are option 1 chemotherapy, option 2 surgery, option 3 radiation therapy, option 4 all the above. I repeat the question. The most common types of treatment of cancer are option 1 chemotherapy, option 2 surgery, option 3 radiation therapy, option 4 all the above.
Moving to the next question.
Our immunity depends on which of the following? Option 1 food, option 2 thought process, option 3 breathing pattern, option 4 all of the above. I repeat the question. Our immunity depends on which of the following? Option 1 food, option 2 thought process, option 3 breathing pattern, option 4 all of the above.
Moving to the last question.
Every individual has cancer cells present in their body. True or false? I repeat the question. Every individual has cancer cells present in their body. True or false?
Thank you so much, Sippy, for conducting the quiz. So quickly, I will just go through the answers once. And in the meantime, there was a question in the chat box that does sexual intercourse lead to cancer, or if a person gets cancer, will it spread if you have sexual intercourse with them? Obviously, no, because cancer is not a contagious disease. It happens in your cell. So even if you sleep together, eat together, hang out together, it will not spread to you, okay? So cancer is the dash leading cause of death globally. Cancer is the second leading cause of death globally. Cancer is the result of uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells anywhere in the body. The answer is true. Cancer cells are toxic in nature because alkaline helps your body to prevent cancer. So try to make your body more alkaline by taking lots of fruits and vegetables and oxygen, because these three things contain alkaline. The next is breast cancer is only diagnosed in women. It is false. Breast cancer might happen to male as well. Which of the following is not considered? The question was not considered as a risk factor for oral cancer. It is a high fiber diet. Cancer of the blood cell is referred to as leukemia. Which tumor is cancerous? It is the malignant tumor. What are the most common types of treatment of cancer? So the most common types of treatment are chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation therapy, which is all of the above. Our immunity depends on which of the following? It is also all of the above. Every individual has cancer cells present in their body. The answer is true. So thank you so much, everyone. With this, we have come to the end of the entire session. So before announcing the results, there is a small pledge that all of us will take together. It is a request that at least few of you can unmute yourself, and then we can take the pledge together. So Sippy, I would like to request you that please administer the pledge. Sippy will read a line and we will read after her. Over to you. Okay, so let us take the pledge together. I pledge to be a true supporter in eradicating cancer from the society.
I pledge to be a true supporter in eradicating cancer from the society.
I will try and do my best to support cancer awareness campaign now and all my life.
I will try and do my best to support cancer awareness campaigns now and all my life.
I will ensure that my parents go for a health checkup every 6 months.
I will ensure that my parents go for health checkup every 6 months.
I pledge to promote a healthy lifestyle and food habit within my family and friends.
I pledge to promote a healthy lifestyle and food habits within my family and friends.
I will never indulge in or encourage any unhealthy activities such as smoking, tobacco, and
I will never indulge in or encourage any unhealthy activities such as chewing tobacco or smoking.
I pledge to spread awareness about cancer from what I have gained
I pledge to spread awareness about cancer from what I have gained today as many people as I can. Thank you.
all the participants, everyone can please mute yourself. Yeah. So Sippy, I would now like to hand over the session to you, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing the relevant information about cancer prevention. It is my duty to invite our organizing secretary, Dr. R. Saravana Selvakumar, Assistant Professor, Department of English, G.Venkataswamy College, to conclude the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for making everyone very active. And the winner of the quiz, first is Evangeline Nightingale, and the second question, Ms. Aisha Menin. And on behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, G.Venkataswamy College, and the member of the institution, I am pleased to propose the words of gratitude to all the members who contributed their highest help for the successful conduct of the one-day national awareness webinar on cancer prevention and healthy lifestyle in association with Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer, Mumbai, Maharastra. So I'm happy to extend my gratitude to the resource persons, Ms. Florina Singh and Ms.SUMKI Begum, Program Coordinators, Outreach and Counselor, Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer, Mumbai, for sparing their busiest time with us today. Madam, the session was extremely beneficial as it drew the attention of the participants towards some of the deadly habits, which although very common, but can be very fatal and dangerous, finally leading to the death of a person. The webinar was an eye-opener for many as it made the participants realize what are the do's and don'ts of leading a healthy and tension-free life. And Ms. Florina has stated that one should not take one's health for granted and explained the various stages of the disease and emphasized on the importance of a healthy lifestyle, clean surrounding, and an alert attitude. And thank you so much, ma'am. Also, I would like to thank Ms. Sippy Mole, Program Intern in Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer, for helping us arrange this beautiful program. And I'm indebted to thank our Secretary, Dr. P. Magendran, Principal, Dr. N. Shanti Mageshwari, and the Director, Dr. G.Venkataswamy, for their incessant guidance and extending their fullest support for the successful conduct of each and every program. We are thankful to you, ma'am and sirs. And I would like to express my appreciation to all the participants who have joined us here today. Thank you very much for your unwavering attention throughout this presentation. My sincere thanks goes to all the staff members, administrators, and the well-wishers for your support and encouragement. So without your support, nothing could be done. Thank you very much for joining this event. And I'm confident that the session was very informative, heartening, encouraging, and it would help us for both personal and academic growth. Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much. Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am.